how did you find yoga and Pilates? Like, how did you become like a physical therapist? Like all of these things. What made you want to like get those certifications finally?
So that actually was, that's how I found relief from my running pain in the first place. So it was a Pilates studio. And back in those days, they were few and far between. And I walked in and, saw all of these interesting movements that I'd never seen before. And my body actually loved it right away. And I actually had a fully separate career before I did this, but I remember, this was kind of before vision boards were a thing. I actually had a little book and I cut magazine pictures out of things that I wanted. And that was one of my 10 things that I wanted. I wanted to own a Pilates studio. No idea really where that came from or why that was such a connecting point. But I basically proceeded with my life. I finished my degree. I have a business degree. I went and I worked in the marketing and media fields for quite a period of time. And this was kind of just running in the background. It was really my personal passion. And with all of these certifications, you actually have to do, as you would know, you have to do client hours. You can't just kind of attend the classes and get your certification. So I actually had to teach and I had to do exams. And I found that I really loved working with people and that I really loved solving problems in this way that I found so challenging. As I mentioned, I turn out to have a very average body, but I think a lot of the sports and athletic and training world is not actually set up for average people. It's really set up for athletic people who kind of get it from day one and they can coordinate it all and it all makes sense to them. And a lot of those instructions and the way that that world is set up, I mean, gyms really come from the bodybuilding world and who was bodybuilding in the 1950s, but people that just really connected with that. They loved it. It made sense to them. They wanted to do it. It was their passion. And so I became really somebody who loved working with everyone else. So it's the other 85% of people that messaging doesn't actually make sense to. And the deeper I got into my training and working with clients, the more I just loved and loved and loved it. And then I added health coaching certifications and, all of these different pieces. But at the end of it, it was all really directed from my passions and my interests and what really caught my attention and just making it accessible and available to people.